Hello and welcome along people to another one of my little videos. Recently I was down at Donaldson Park and I bought myself a bag full of Muc-Off goodies. The salesman was kind enough to give me some guidance as to how I should use said goodies. So join me after the intro where I will be putting his advice and the Muc-Off products to good use. See you in a minute. Visor Cleaner, visor and goggle cleaner, which I have used for the past 2 months. Really rate it, love it, think it's a brilliant product. This is a sachet or 2 sachets of this product. So it's water soluble. You add a litre or whatever it is of warm water to this bottle when it's empty, and you just replenish the bottle. So I think that's a good idea. I've already used this on the bike today, which you're going to see in a minute in the video, and you'll find out whether I'm happy or not happy with this. This is an aftercare product. Basically, after you've cleaned your bike, you spray this liberally on various different components on your bike. And, of course, the sponge. And you have to cut it out of its package, like this, without cutting the sponge. Hopefully I've cut close enough to the edge. There we go, we have. And I'm going to rip the rest. So I'm going to point the camera at that, and I'm going to walk away. I'm going to drink a cup of coffee, and hopefully, in the meantime, the sponge will have done its thing. See you in a minute. I was hoping with the magic of time-lapse to bring you a clever piece of video editing so we could see the sponge growing in quick time. But when I say nothing happened, I mean absolutely nothing happened. So I emailed Muc-Off to find out what's going on with the sponge. I received an email first thing this morning and it said, sorry you're having a slight issue with your sponge. They are slightly stubborn to kind of get going sometimes. So completely submerge the sponge in water and tease them like this, basically whilst it's under the water, okay? Because the fibres need to kind of uncompress themselves. Look at that! It's only worked. So 2 things really. Thanks ever so much to whoever was the person at the other end of the email. They didn't treat me as an idiot or whatever, and they responded to my email and gave me correct advice. So the first thing I'm definitely going to do is wash my bike, and the first thing I've been told before I do anything with my bike is pre-wash it, so wet it all over. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so that's the pre-wash done. Next part of the job will be to apply this all over and leave it soak in for about 5 minutes. That's the advice I was given, so that's what I'm going to do. So the first thing I would notice whilst using the spray bottle instead of using snow foam on your lance, I normally blast my detergent kind of up in around here, but there's a lot of wires and delicate stuff in here. Now I know we all go out and we ride at 70-80 miles an hour down a motorway and it can rain and then the water will blast in there, but we don't blast detergent at 80 miles an hour on a motorway, and that's my point. But you can squirt this in quite delicately with the spray like this, and I don't know, but in my mind I think that's a little bit better. So I guess only time will tell. 5 minutes to be exact. I was told leave it 5 or 10 minutes, but one thing I would say or add to that 5 or 10 minutes is if it is a scaldingly hot day, that's not easy for me to say, but if it is like a really stupidly hot day like it has been recently, don't wash your bike. 2 reasons: you're going to get dehydrated, and most importantly of all is the detergent dries really quickly, and you find it's very difficult to get the detergent back off of your paintwork. So it needs to stay liquid or stay wet on whatever you're washing. So don't do it on a stupidly hot day. After about 10 minutes, and when I want to get into the little nooks and crannies and the really hard stuck on stuff, the flies, etc., I'm now going to use the pink sponge supplied by Muc-Off, and see if it does as good as they say. So it shouldn't snag and it shouldn't rip on the bolts and screws in the bike. So let's see how it gets on. The bike wasn't particularly dirty to begin with. You can see that there's little bits of flies on there, and now I'm just using the sponge with a clean bucket of water, so there's no detergent in the bucket. And after 5 minutes, without scrubbing too hard, my lower bars where the flies and stuff have kind of got stuck properly on there, by using the sponge, there's a little bit left on there, that's taken an awful lot of the elbow grease out of it. Yeah, that really does appear to be working. Like the guy said, I am impressed. There is obviously detergent still on the bike. I haven't washed the bike off yet. I'm literally just getting into the little nooks and crannies that have got a heavy amount of dirt on there. And yeah, my pink sponge that was a little bit reluctant to wake up, now that it is awake, it's working. To be fair, the bike wasn't particularly dirty. It was left parked for a couple of days, and that sandy stuff is what I normally struggle here. That kind of pinky sand stuff that we seem to be getting in rain lately was all over the bike, and it dried on. So before I go and taking the bike out for a little spin, I thought it needed to have a wash. Now you can't really see, but there is a few little bits and pieces on there, flies and road detritus, and without scrubbing and going too mental, that is yeah, whoops, that is coming off a treat. I'm impressed. The only thing that I haven't used the Muc-Off products on was my wheels. I've used a different product, and as I'm reviewing Muc-Off products and not other products, just to save confusion, I'm not going to show you what I'm using on my wheels. But so far, I'm very impressed with this and this. I've used very little of this. Okay, so as you can clearly see, I've used more than half a bottle, but I did actually wash my car and wash my wife's car yesterday and the day before, not on one day, to be daft. Anyway, so I've probably used about that much, which is less than half a bottle. Now, he did suggest that I would probably use half a bottle on my bike, but The bike, as you probably could tell, wasn't particularly dirty. The bike was covered in a little layer of that Sahara dust that we seem to be getting a lot lately, and before I rode the bike I wanted to clean that off of the bike. So a good opportunity to try out my Muc-Off products. The sponge does compress nicely, so if you want to put it between the bars to clean into nooks and crannies, that works. It also cleans itself when you put it into the water, take it back out, give it a squeeze. All of the dirt appears to come out of the sponge. You don't want the dirt and grit to stay in or on the sponge, because then you're scratching your nice clean paintwork. So yeah, the sponge does appear to work quite well. So I'm impressed. All I have to do is try and dry the bike off and see how the whole bike looks. I am very, very happy with that. I think the bike looks really good. Very, very pleased. Now, I haven't polished anything off yet. I've literally just washed it, blew it off with the airline, and I've used one of my old chamois just to take off some of the watermarks. But I haven't spent a huge amount of time or effort trying to clean it, and I am very, very impressed with that. Yeah, very, very happy. One little top tip, if I may, before I go. Whilst you're cleaning your bike, I have found some of the Muc-Off Visor Cleaner. Works a treat. If you spray it onto the screen, just a little bit of it, and clean it off, that will take any watermark off of your Nav 6, and it stops it from doing its weirdy glitchy thing. Yeah, so that's one of my little top tips. Hopefully you can hear me over the jackhammer that is operating up the road. Last but not least, before I go, the protection layer. So I've sprayed this stuff on my engine and bits and pieces, and the stuff that I want to try and keep protected. One thing, odd little thing about this that he did tell me was, if you're not sure where you've sprayed the product on your bike, if you have got an ultraviolet light, shine the ultraviolet light on your bike, I guess either in low or no light, and it shows up in under ultraviolet light. Bit odd, but there you go. That's what I've been told, and that's what I've been told the product will do. I don't have an ultraviolet pen or light to shine on it, so I can't check it, but I'm just telling you what he told me. That's it for now. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up. If you haven't enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave a thumbs down. Please leave a comment in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe, ding dong that notification bell, and that way you will never ever ever miss another episode here on the Mad Leprechaun. Ever so pleased to be back. My right arm is now fixed. And by the way, those of you who have been wondering where I've been, I broke my elbow. It's a long story. Anyway, those of you who have stuck around, thanks for sticking around. I shall see you guys in the next one. Until next time, bye bye.